is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Now at 7, we are watching the live radar. As you can see, our storm chances start increasing this evening. That is one busy radar. Some of those storms could be as severe as we've seen in the past couple of days. This is a Storm Team 6 alert day. And thanks for joining us. I'm Rafael Sanchez here at the Tracking Center with meteorologist Todd Clausen. Can I just speak for all of us in Indiana, Todd? We're tired of the rain.
Yeah, I know.
I know you're tired of it too.
I've heard all the complaints. I've heard all the complaints, trust me.
What can we do?
You know, I do think we finally start to break this pattern a little bit next week. But until then, Rafael, some storms here today and also over the weekend as well. We'll talk more about the weekend coming up in just a little bit. But let's talk about what's happening right now. The thunderstorm watch and the warnings have expired here, at least for right now. As you notice, this loop shows the storm is really starting to weaken across the area. We have a few heavier downpours still south of Bloomington over towards Bedford and pushing towards the Seymour area. So this area has seen a lot of rainfall the past few weeks, and this is some pretty good rain that's coming through right now. And there is a flash flood watch that's in effect here in southern locations, but that's probably our greatest threat going forward throughout the evening hours. As you extend north into the metro area, you notice a lot of the shower activity has dissipated, just a few sprinkles, and then even further to the north, it's mainly just dry. But look how impressive this system was as it made its way through Illinois. It just ran into a lot of stable air here, thankfully, in central Indiana, and it's starting to strengthen now and push further down to the south. So it's taken that turn, and it's heading more in that southeasterly direction. So throughout the evening hours, you notice the break in the clouds off to the west, 60s and 70s. You have evening plans, southern locations, a few downpours, but overall the showers come to an end and no additional severe threat across the area. Rafael.
Thanks, Scott. We'll check on the radar in a few moments. Some community members, as you can see, they think that the city of Indianapolis and a local anti-violence group have misled the public about what they say is the reality of crime on the city's east side. And today, critics held a demonstration to get their message across about the number of homicides on the far east side. At the center of this controversy is the boundary lines that define the far east side and how big that area is. When it comes to 10 Point, they say it's a very small area with a boundary that could end when you just cross the street.
Area was 38th Street to 42nd Street between Post Road and Midhofer Road. So that has been the area or the boundaries of the 10 Point Patrol since mid-January of 2018.
That is a portion, a section of the Far East Side. It is not the Far East Side in its totality. It never has been and it never will be.
Take a look at this map to get a better look at what they're talking about. The red area is what the city considers the far east side. Those blue markers identify homicides. That much smaller green area is the portion patrolled by the 10 Point Coalition that the group was referencing on Monday. And that smaller area saw no homicides. New at 7, an arrest in connection with a double shooting that left one man dead and a woman in critical condition. Homicide detectives arrested Dallas Jones earlier today. The June 12th shooting happened in the 2900 block of North Dearborn Street, but police were first called to another area where they found the wounded woman. She told them she had been shot on North Dearborn, and that's where officers found Albert Germany Jr. lying dead in the street. New tonight, a Hamilton County Corrections officer arrested for suspected drunk driving. Rachel Bentley is also a reserve officer with the Arcadia Police Department. She was arrested today in Westfield. Bentley is a sergeant at the county jail in Noblesville and has worked there for 10 years. She's on paid administrative leave while an internal investigation takes place. She's also been placed on leave by the Arcadia Police Department, where she has been an unpaid reserve officer for about 4 years. Indianapolis Public Schools now has a new leader, and it's a woman who's familiar with the school system, the state's largest in Indiana. Former interim superintendent Alicia Johnson is now going to serve in that role full-time. She is making history as the first African-American woman to lead the district. The IPS board interviewed several candidates and says that Johnson rose to the top of that pack. An Evansville native, Johnson comes from a long line of educators and has been an educator herself for over 16 years. In just under an hour, community members will gather to try to solve a serious problem in a portion of the northeast and east sides of the city. People will meet to talk about food deserts. The discussion will happen in the parking lot of A&I Grocery Store. It's a mom and pop business near 38th and Post Road. And as we told you Wednesday, A&I says it may have to close its doors unless it gets some support from the city. And if that grocery store closes, there will be a food desert near 38th and Post. Nowhere close for people to get fresh food. Tonight's meeting starts in about 56 minutes there on the city's east side. The calls for help among domestic violence victims shows no signs of slowing down in central Indiana. Today, Coburn Place held its 12th annual Blue and Gold Breakfast. The annual program helps raise money to support programs and services for families in need. The event, which began at Bankers Life Fieldhouse this morning, is hoping to raise some $25,000 before the end of the night.
We think year over year we'll be able to whittle down those wait lists, that people will be able to get into housing quicker. And what we find is the more we do, the more that people need and the more people that need those services. There's got to be a tipping point though, right, Raphael? I mean, there's hope that one day we'll get ahead of the issue if we just all work together.
RTV6 was a proud participant of today's event, which brought together about 500 people, as you can see, there at Bankers Fieldhouse. Former Pacer Eddie Gill was the featured speaker, and this was my 7th year hosting that event. Summer in Indiana means construction season is about to pick up. Look at that beautiful video right there. But INDOT says 5 major projects working simultaneously in Marion County throughout the weekend. I-65 is closed from 465 to 865. I-70 East is closed from 465 to the South Split, and that's just the beginning, as you can imagine. We have all of this information with all the traffic situations you need to know for this weekend, all the restrictions for you in the story today on the RTV6 mobile app. Metro Police tonight looking for the owner of a truck found in Fall Creek today. That white truck discovered in the water just off of Fall Creek Drive Parkway just after 9 this morning. Crews have been trouble getting to the truck because the water was moving too swiftly. No one was inside the truck at the time. Next on the news at 7, a controversial case that started as a reported hate crime against a TV star. Now we're learning the shocking decision by prosecutors may not be final in this legal chapter drama. New details coming up. Todd?
And Raphael, the showers and storms are diving down to the south. That is the good news in our forecast. A few light showers remain, but carry on with any evening plans. We'll talk more about your weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
RTV6 is working for you.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Today, a judge in Chicago appointed a special prosecutor to review the state's attorney Kim Foxx's handling of the Jussie Smollett case. That means that the actor could find himself back in court should the special prosecutor choose to reopen the case. ABC's Elizabeth Herr is in New York with all the details.
The legal drama for Jussie Smollett in Chicago, not over yet.
It's a good day for justice.
Retired state appellate judge Sheila O'Brien feeling victorious after an Illinois judge granted her request for a special prosecutor to look into the handling of the actor's case.
We'll get the truth, the whole truth, under oath. And that's what this was about.
The actor from the show Empire was accused of orchestrating a racist and homophobic attack on himself back in January. Smollett has always maintained he was a victim.
I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one.
But prosecutors charged Smollett with 16 felony counts, but those charges were dropped weeks later. O'Brien claimed it appeared that Smollett had received special treatment from state's attorney Kim Foxx, who had recused herself from the case only to appoint someone else in her office to take over. In his ruling, Judge Michael Tuman explaining, well, he had no problem with Foxx recusing herself. She had no authority naming her own special prosecutor. Gloria Schmidt is the attorney for the two brothers who allegedly helped Smollett stage the attack.
His ruling today makes perfect sense. You can't just create an office, and that's effectively what State's Attorney Foxx did.
In response, Fox said in a statement she respectfully disagrees with the court's conclusion. She could appeal. The Chicago PD also responded, saying in a statement they stand firmly behind the work of their detectives. Elizabeth Hurd, ABC News, New York.
We could learn one day more about Robert Mueller's investigation into the 2016 election. A top prosecutor on his team is writing a book. Andrew Weissman built the case against President Trump's former chairman, Paul Manafort. He has not spoken publicly about that experience, but if he gets a book deal, that could all change. The New York Times says his book will explore his work on the special counsel's inquiry. Walmart is using smart surveillance to stop people from stealing from its stores. The system uses artificial intelligence to spot errors during self and traditional checkouts. So, for example, the system can tell if someone puts something in a bag without scanning it, or if a clerk forgets to scan something a customer left in the cart. The system calls a manager when something's not right. Now, Walmart says it's been using the system in many of its stores now for 2 years, but the retailer never confirmed it until now. Walmart says the system has reduced theft, mistakes, and fraud, but critics say it's an invasion of privacy and reveals a sad level of mistrust. So here's a question. How much do you love chicken? And how much do you love Cheetos? What a perfect combination. KFC says you don't have to decide between one or the other. And that's because Todd Clausen next month, they'll introduce the KFC Cheetos sandwich. The sandwich features a crispy fried chicken fillet, topped with a special Cheeto sauce, and of course, sitting on a bed of Cheetos. That's the only one of its items listed on the new Cheetos lineup at the restaurant. It also includes Cheeto fried KFC hot wings, Cheetos loaded fries, and KFC mac and Cheetos bowls. That should be all a good combination. Whether you're looking for your first pet or to add to your growing crew, hundreds of dogs and cats would love to meet you this weekend at the Indy Mega Adoption event. Dozens of animal shelters and rescues from Indiana will be at the Indiana State Fairgrounds tomorrow and Sunday. The hours each day from 1 in the afternoon until 6 in the evening. The event is free. However, on Saturday, you can cut the line and get in an hour before the public at noon if you buy an early bird admission ticket for $25. For more information, go to the Indy Mega Adoption event website to get all the things you need to know. 2 young gray seal brothers are the newest marine mammals to make their way right here to the Circle City. 3-year-old Ziggy and 1-year-old Scooter, they arrived in May from the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago. They just recently made their outdoor debut at the Indy Zoo. The zoo says, like any pair of brothers, they have some difficult and different personalities. We'll see what happens. Enjoy them. And today is the summer solstice, and here's the perfect way to stretch out the longest day of the year. You're looking at live pictures from the 7th annual Monumental Yoga downtown on the Circle. It is free. It's a free community yoga class incorporating many of the yoga studios here in the area. Of course, as you can see, organizers expect about 4,000 so-called yogis to participate in this year's event. The event benefits Indy Yoga Movement, a non-for-profit that holds yoga classes in schools K through 12 across Central Indiana, teaching them life skills to take with them off the mat. As you can see, having a great time. And for now, Todd, the weather is cooperating.
Yeah, you know, they probably looked at the radar and said, oh no, like everybody here across central Indiana, but a lot of those storms weakened. That was the good news. And just a few spotty showers out there right now. That severe thunderstorm watch has been dropped as well. So our threat of severe weather has pretty much come to an end. So just like Monumental Yoga, anything outdoors this evening should be in pretty good shape. So there's some heavier downpours still to the south, though, from Bedford over to Medora to the Seymour area. And this is an area that's seen over 10 inches of rain really within the last week. So there could be some localized flooding here in southern locations, and there is a flash flood watch in southern locales. But as we come to the north, you notice we lose the yellows, the dark greens, which is the heavy rain. This is just some light rain that's falling from Edinburgh through the Franklin and Greenwood area over towards Shelbyville, Danville. The lightning has diminished as well. And in fact, there's hardly any lightning out there at all. And then some scattered showers up towards Carmel and Noblesville. Ruoff, big concert there this evening. A few showers right now, but that concert will go on without a doubt here this evening. So So everything kind of weakened. It ran into some stable air, but this was a pretty potent batch of storms as it made its way through Illinois. But the heavier the storms are now pushing down to the south. It's taken basically a right turn and moving through central Kentucky. And a live look for you off to the west shows even a few peaks of sunshine there across the western horizon. Temperatures right now, they currently sit in the 60s and 70s across the area. And throughout the evening hours, sunset is at 9:17 this evening. There'll be some spotty showers, but again, the thunder and lightning threat has basically come to an end. Now, tomorrow and also on Sunday, there's storms in the forecast. Do not cancel your plans. They're all going to be pretty spotty. The one thing you'll notice tomorrow, a little warmer, 84. Sunday's really warm at 87. And on Sunday, the humidity comes way up as well. It's going to be a very, very muggy day. One little caveat is overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, just like the storm we were dealing with today, that big cluster that basically came across Illinois, there could be some heavier downpours tomorrow morning in southern locations. If that happens, don't be discouraged. That moves off pretty quickly. And then as we go through TrueCast for Saturday, look, it's just a spot shower or two here or there. There's some sunshine mixed in, and there's also a lot of dry hours. So again, do not cancel those plans. Showers do become a little more numerous as we head into the day on Sunday, but again, not a washout. Monday, more storms in the forecast, and then as we work our way into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Raphael, finally some dry weather with temperatures in the mid-80s. Welcome to summer.
People's water wells should be great for the next couple of months or years, the way it's going, right?
Giving the sump pumps a little bit of a break.
Thank you so much, Todd. 1,000 open jobs, just 17 days of work. Next in hiring Hoosiers. The employees the Indiana State Fair needs and the steps they're taking to get you to fill those seasonal jobs. Those stories next on the News at 7.
Ed Martin Nissan.
The only name you need to know.
Hiring Hoosiers, an RTV6 project committed to connecting you every day to jobs right here in central Indiana. And there's a chance for you to earn some extra cash for just 17 days of work. RTV6's Mark Mullins reports that the Indiana State Fair needs hundreds of workers and is using a number of means to broaden their applicant pool.
The Indiana State Fair is just weeks away, and these now empty grounds will be swarming with people riding rides, petting cows and horses, eating the most savory fried foods, and taking in concerts. It takes hundreds and hundreds of people to make it happen.
State fairs are a great way for folks to make some money.
So the fairgrounds management has been trying to fill more than 1,000 positions to cover the fair's 17-day run.
Gates, parking, security. We're looking for people in our education department. You know, we bring through thousands of school students on field trips during the fair. So helping kids learn about where their food comes from. We're also looking to fill positions on our tractor shuttles, helping people get around the fairgrounds during the fair.
At the State Fair Job Fair last week, with on-site interviews, more than 245 people showed up. A promising start with enthusiastic candidates, but not enough. The fair management acknowledges over the last several years, attendance numbers for these job fairs have dropped. Last week's job fair was just one vehicle to find potential employees to clock in here during the month of August working at the State Fair.
We use other recruitment tools such as working with veterans groups and retirement communities.
They also turn to local high schools and college campuses, and they recruit people with motorhomes traveling the country, allowing them to camp on the fairgrounds. They use social media and invite applicants to stop by the fair's on-site employment office. Indiana's low unemployment rate has not hindered the fair's ability to fill the more than 1,000 openings. Management says the fair just offers a chance to cash in on some extra cash flow.
People want to work for the fair, and they want to be a part of the state's largest event. In fact, we have several folks who come back and work for us during their vacation time from their regular jobs, just to make some extra money and have a great experience.
In Indianapolis, Mark Mullins, RTV6.
Mark, thank you so much. The Indiana State Fair runs from August the 2nd through the 18th. Again, more than 700 seasonal positions are still open, and many of them offer overtime opportunities. You can drop by the State Fair Employment Office. That's Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Or you can apply online as well. We've posted the link in this story today in our website, hiringhoosiers.com. Still ahead on the News at 7, how would you like to be a part of the team that protects our state capitol? They're looking for new recruits, but we'll tell you what you need to know before you get that interview. Taking a live look outside, Todd has your final forecast for this Friday evening, next on the News at 7.
The only name you need to know.
The Indiana State Police Capitol Police Section is now accepting applications. Applications must be received via online submission by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday, July the 10th. Applications received after the deadline will not be accepted. Now, here are some of the basic requirements for a Capitol Police officer. You must be a U.S. citizen. You must be at least 21 years of age. You must meet a minimum vision standard of 20/50 in each eye. You must possess a valid driver's license, and you must be a high school graduate. The starting salary for a Capitol Police officer is just under $45,000 a year.
The severe threat has come to an end across the area, and the showers are starting to diminish as well. Some heavier downpours still in southern locations, but that too will come to an end here this evening. Additional isolated storms over the weekend, but a lot of dry hours as well.
TK, thank you so much. Thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. Our next newscast tonight with Amanda tonight 11. Todd will be there as well. You have a great weekend.